The Premier League is back after an unwanted international break. This is week 4, and we'll be previewing some of the games that caught our eye. Obviously, the big London derby is there for discussion, but we have to start with a really big game, a six-pointer relegation battle between Southampton and Manchester United. I know it's early in the season, but I'm taking my shots. Southampton
Oh,
have played 3 games, lost all 3 since the return. United have played 3 games, lost 2. They were dismantled by Liverpool in the last match. I would say not dismantled, but just taken apart quite comprehensively. It could have been worse for them. There's been a lot said about Eric Ten Hag, what he has to do. He's spoken out about Cristiano Ronaldo recently. I don't know why he gets into stuff like this. So this match is being played at St. Mary's. Do you think Manchester United can win? It's like,
oh man, I think Man United should win, right? I think the players should come out and really put out a statement performance, right? Like you said, they were humiliated at Liverpool, but now it's basically up to them, right? Ten Hag aside, the squad that Man United have, they should be beating Southampton, right? So the players should really come out, irrespective of the tactics or the strategy, and they should really put in a good performance for the badge, so to speak, right? So that it doesn't really turn into a relegation six-pointer.
yeah, so it'll be bad for United if they lose, right? And
Yeah.
so Southampton you would think are there for the taking, but they aren't that bad a side because all the 3 clubs that have come up, I think, play good
Yeah.
football. It's not like the early 2000s championship football, which is hoofing the ball up and hoping something happens. So United could be there for the taking, sorry. And with Southampton playing in front of the fans, you never know what can happen. So I think that's a very tasty fixture to start off the weekend, hoping for a United loss. But let's see. Moving on. Liverpool are at home. They play against Nottingham Forest. Uh, Arne Slot, perfect 3 from 3 in his first 3 games. No goals conceded, which I think is the most positive
Wow.
aspect
Mm.
since taking over from Jurgen Klopp. Because I remember last season, we were really slow to start games. We would concede in the first 10, 15 minutes, and then it's a battle always. Slot's been very smart with his team selection. He hasn't made any major changes to the lineups. So I think it should be a win for us. I know Forest aren't gonna be easy obviously, but we are having a few injury issues. Like Alexis McAllister, I believe, picked up an injury in international duty. I'm not sure if Diego Jota will start, and Harvey Elliott is out for a long time. But I
Uh,
still believe we should have enough firepower to defeat Forest, as this starts a really easy run of fixtures for us.
yeah, I think Liverpool should win pretty easily, right? Any major issues coming out of the international fixtures? Any folks traveling
Yeah,
from the South
so
America or something?
the fear is about McAllister because he had the
Hmm.
injury and Argentina still played
Hmm.
him. I think in both games he played. So that's my
Ah.
concern. And
Mhm.
we do have Curtis Jones coming back. So maybe he could get a start. It is to be seen. But apart from that, I don't think there are any major concerns for us. No major injuries picked up, which is a bonus because I hate international fixtures and breaks for this.
Do
Uh,
you think we'll see Chiesa get a debut?
We could. I'm interested to see. He could play a few minutes, but again, Arne Slot is not a man who will just give you minutes for the sake of it. If he
Hmm.
sees that there is a need for somebody like a KSA to come in, he'll give him that. He's not going to make substitutes just for the sake of it or giving him a chance or something. Because Slot's very straightforward. I like that about him. I don't think he's very emotional or he has favorites as at least till now. Moving on, I think we have to also talk about the other team who are perfect. This is the start of the season. That's Manchester City. They only lead.
Hmm.
I think they only lead the Premier League because of goals scored. Yeah. So they face Brentford, who are a bit of a tricky side. But again, I really don't see anybody else. Like I don't see Brentford giving Manchester City that many problems. Although we did think that City might struggle in a few games, but they seem so good, and especially with Erling Haaland in the form of his life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Will he score another hat trick? I think that's the big question.
My money is on yes.
Have you put him in your FPL team?
No, I don't have the money anymore, right? Because he still costs. I think he costs more than what he costed at the beginning of the season.
Oh
So I
man.
really don't have the money. But I think yeah, you're right. Right, it's hard to stop the Man City juggernaut because they also have those really good center backs, like four center backs, and then their back four, right?
Yeah,
So they're
yeah.
pretty solid defensively. I think Rodri, I don't know whether he's going to start. He's also in the
Hmm.
running for the Ballon d'Or this time, right? And
Yeah, yeah.
rightfully so. So I think should be an easy win for Man City. But like you said, Brentford are not a team that rolls over easily. So it should be a good game. But I still think Man City will win pretty easily.
Yeah, I agree with that. I wasn't going to talk about this team, but I think we should. It's Brighton, another unbeaten side, 2 wins in a row.
Hmm.
The manager got the Premier League Manager of the Month award, Fabian Hutzler. I'm watching his name
31
again.
years old.
31 years. He's younger than us, man. What the heck?
Way younger, yeah.
Anyway, so Brighton's look really good. I mean, after the De Zerbi era, and things started to fall apart almost for them because they were conceding a lot of goals. But Huzela looks like a pretty decent manager. He's got them playing some good football, and they're up against Ipswich at home. So I see them getting an easy win, and they'll continue staying in the top four with that win.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be a good game because Ipswich play a decent brand of football as well, and Brighton obviously do. And I think, yeah, that'll be an exciting game to watch. Brighton should get the win. They have a lot of good players in form as well, right? Yankuba Minte on the wings. Joao Pedro has been scoring quite a few goals. So I think it's going to be a win for Brighton, and they'll definitely be, in the top four at the end of this week.
Moving on, we'll talk about your club, Chelsea. they're they're facing Bournemouth. I think
Uh,
last time, who did Chelsea play last time? You guys
Crystal
played Crystal
Palace. We
Palace. So
drew. We
and
drew
and,
one
and
one.
you rightly said that you weren't sure that you're going to win the match against Palace despite being at Stamford Bridge. And well, you're right. Chelsea were leading, I think, and then they conceded a goal. And I don't know. Bournemouth aren't uh, easy to defeat. They also have a very good manager now, and they're unbeaten as well. A win and two draws. So is it a difficult, tricky fixture for
For
Chelsea?
sure, there's no question about it, right? Bournemouth is a good team. They've got really good attackers, and they're playing at home, right?
Yeah.
Which obviously adds to their advantage. And Chelsea, all of the stuff that's been happening outside of the ground, right, or with the ownership and everything, it has to percolate down. I know Maresca has said, we are trying to shield the team, we're all professionals and everything, but still, if you know that your bosses are fighting about
Yeah.
who gets to run the club, you're not going to be in the perfect mindset. Chelsea also have a critical injury, right? We don't really have any fit right backs right now. Malo Gusto is injured, and of course, Reece James, has been unfortunate with his injuries. He's barely played for the last 2 years. He's injured as well, so I don't know who will fit in at right back for us. It might be Axel Disasi, but he can be exploited by quick wingers, which Bournemouth do have. So that's a very easy area to try to exploit Chelsea. I don't know what attacking players Maresca is going to choose from. He's got like a million wingers to choose from, right? Maybe Jadon Sancho will get a little bit of game time. We'll see. And I think Cole Palmer also had a bit of a knock. That's why he pulled out of the English squad. So we're not sure whether he'll start or not. But I think attacking sense, we have a lot of players. The problem is on the defensive side as well as the central midfield because Lavia is injured again and he's still injured. And then both of our central midfielders, right, Caicedo and Enzo, both of them played all the way in South America, which is, a grueling flight from Europe and they would have just come back. I don't know how fresh they are. We don't really have too many backups for them. So it's going to be a tricky match for Chelsea, and Bournemouth will definitely give us a run for our money, no question about it.
Yeah. I also wanted to bring up we could possibly get the first sacking of the season. It's Aston Villa versus Everton. Everton are 0 for
Oh,
3, yeah. And Villa are growing great guns. Villa play at home. Is this the end of Sean Dyche at Everton?
I don't know, man. We talked about this, right? Like Sean Dyche is the ultimate manager to get you out of a relegation slugfight, right? Who do you get? Like you get Big Sam, like we talked about. Like
Yeah.
he's pretty old. I don't know whether he's. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's retired. Interesting though. I was listening to a podcast where Big Sam was talking about some of these teams playing an unreasonable, unrealistic brand of football. So some of the smaller teams trying to play out of the back against top teams who are really good at the high press, right? That's a recipe for disaster, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you have a plan B, right? I know everybody wants to play possession football, but if you are not that great at playing out from the back and the opposition is really good at high pressing, have a plan B. I don't know. That's not the case with Everton, though. Everton has just been dismal, right? Horrible. They let go of a 2-0 lead
Hmm.
in the last match against Bournemouth. I don't know where they go from here. If they sack Sean Dyche, like who do they get in? Because they clearly need somebody who has that experience of being down in the trenches fighting relegation. I don't know who.
I don't even think they have that many good players. Like, can you
No,
get
the
them to
squad
play any
is
other way?
very,
Yeah,
very bad.
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
And
They have
obviously,
Armando Broya now from Chelsea. Maybe
they'll play him as
maybe
centre
he'll
back.
rescue them.
They'll play him as centre back.
But he's also, I think, injured for the next 2-3 weeks. I don't know
Oh
what's going on.
wow! So that's
Oh
something we'll have to
man.
keep an eye on. And obviously,
Yeah.
finally, to end the show,
Hmm.
we have the North London derby. We've got Tottenham versus
Hmm.
Arsenal. This game guarantees goals. There's always going to be something. It's one of the big derbies in England. If you spoke to me around 2, 3 weeks back and said, Arsenal face Tottenham, I would say Arsenal are winning this easily. But Arsenal have a lot of problems. No Declan Rice. There's no guarantees that Odegaard will play. There have been really conflicting reports about the length of his injury and the status. I think Calafiori is injured also after a really weird injury that he picked up. So Tottenham might have a chance. I'm not saying it's perfect, but Postecoglou could get a win over Arsenal.
Yeah, I think if there's a good time to face Arsenal, it's probably now, right, with all the injuries and suspensions. But I still think Arsenal have a bit too much firepower, and they gel very well together, right? Because I think Rice is out, but they'll probably just slot in Jorginho in his place, right? And
Mhm.
and Jorginho does a decent job, especially if he has more physical midfielders around him. The other thing is, I think I don't know whether Sterling will get a chance to play. I think he's actually a pretty good winger in terms of output. If you think about it, he can be frustrating at times.
Yeah,
There's no question about it. But every season, he gives you at least 12 to 15 goals and assists. Right, that's a big number, and he always scores in big matches as well. So I don't know whether he'll get a shot. Maybe he will. I think Arsenal have that extra bit of firepower up front, and also they're a more settled team, right? I think Tottenham still have a lot of issues to iron out.
yeah. So yeah, I think that's going to be a really fun match. We'll see how it goes. So I'm sure we'll have a lot of talking points after this weekend. Till then, take care, and we'll catch you next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.